How do you do, fellow idiots? Welcome to Teh Daily Neko. News you can mostly trust. For today's I had this paper regarding your spooky phone. Mobile handset privacy, measuring the data iOS and Android send to Apple and Google. Published March 25, 2021 by Professor Douglas Leaf at Trinity College. The abstract reads, we investigate what data iOS on an iPhone shares with Apple and what data Google Android on a Pixel phone shares with Google. We find that even when minimally configured and the handset is idle, both iOS and Google Android share data with Apple, Google, on average every 4.5 minutes. The phone IMEI, hardware serial number, SIM serial number and INSI, handset phone number etc. are shared with Apple and Google. Both iOS and Google Android transmit telemetry, despite the user explicitly opting out of this. When a SIM is inserted, both iOS and Google Android send details to Apple and Google. iOS sends the MAC addresses of nearby devices, other handsets and the home gateway, to Apple together with their GPS location. Users have no opt-out from this and currently there are few, if any, realistic options for preventing this data sharing. I personally think everyone should expect this sort of data to phone home as a given simply by nature of using most modern technology, and that these findings shouldn't be a surprise. As Professor Leaf puts it, while the privacy of mobile handsets has been much studied, most of this work has focused on measurement of the app tracking/advertising ecosystem and much less attention has been paid to the data sharing by the handset operating system with the mobile OS developer. And I definitely think everyone should be aware that programs and operating systems, regardless of device, will likely share these same basic telemetry habits, even your browser capturing info about your display size and such. Shruggo. There's no escape. As for tests, they ran the data that was shared during the following processes. 1. On first startup following a factory reset. 2. When a SIM is inserted/removed. 3. When a handset lies idle. 4. When the settings screen is viewed. 5. When location is enabled/disabled. And 6. When the user logs into the pre-installed App Store. The data from Table 1 shows the data sent to Apple and Google, even when a user is not logged in, even if they never logged in. In addition to the data listed in this table, iOS shares with Apple the Wi-Fi MAC addresses of nearby devices, such as other devices in a household of the home gateway. When the handset location setting is enabled, these MAC addresses are also tagged with the GPS location. Note that it takes only one device to tag the home gateway MAC address with its GPS location and thereafter the location of all other devices reporting that MAC address to Apple is revealed. Further, they note that the sharing of these Wi-Fi MAC addresses allows for the construction of social graphs over time and place. So if they really wanted to, they can figure out who's around you and where you go, and when and how often. Which, again, everyone should probably be aware of by now. Both iOS and Google Android transmit telemetry, despite the user explicitly opting out of this. However, Google collects a notably larger volume of handset data than Apple. During the first 10 minutes of startup, the Pixel handset sends around 1 MB of data is sent to Google compared with the iPhone sending around 42 KB of data to Apple. When the handsets are sitting idle, the Pixel sends roughly 1 MB of data to Google every 12 hours compared with the iPhone sending 52 KB to Apple. Google collects around 20 times more handset data than Apple. In 2020 it is estimated that in the US there are 113 million iPhone users and 129 million Android users. Assuming all of the Android users have Google Play services enabled, then scaling up our measurements suggests that in the US alone Apple collects around 5.8 GB of handset data every 12 hours while Google collects around 1.3 TB of handset data. The last thing I wanted to cover about this paper is Figure 4, findings on the volume of data uploaded to Google and Apple servers on startup, and when idle. And we can see how much less efficient Google is when it comes to transmitting data from your phone. Just imagine how much battery life that's consuming, and how much of your data is being used on things you'd rather not spend it on. Sleeps. But you know what? There's probably one small step you can take to help your battery last a bit longer, and less of your data being wasted. By swapping your mobile browser to Brave, which blocks ads, and therefore cuts the amount of data you waste otherwise downloading them, as well as loading pages faster. All of which contribute to your battery lasting longer. So if you want to be like me and last longer, don't be a faggot, try Brave. Teehee. Most of the rest of this paper is more technical than my current scope of knowledge, so I'll leave it at that. But the basics are just as important to share and be aware of. The paper itself, as well as Professor Leaf's page, will be linked below. For anyone else interested in reading his other research papers and publications on computer systems and networks. But enough about your data being used and sent to big tech. It's time to live, laugh, love with some pretty Yuri. Starting with this one. Aw, what a cute pair of friends. Kissy kissy, smoochy smoochy noises. Oh, best friends. Nyah. 'Tis true. Ooh ooh. And secondly, these are their best friends playing a game on their Switch. This gonna be me. Smashing with my GIF. Trying to beat level 9 bots on Final Destination. Which makes me wonder, which side would be more difficult, the left Joy-Con, or the right Joy-Con? I'm going to have to experiment this with some girlfriends to see. We'll update you guys with any info I discover. Stay tuned. And that's all I has for today. Thanks for watching. Remain vigilant and don't get croned out there. Suck my dick, faggots.
We attack soon. Line it up. Get ready to fight. We attack soon. I smell the enemy. I'm getting hungry. Move your feet. You do what I say. We attack soon. Strap it in. Long fight! The enemy is on us! Line it up! I'm getting hungry. I smell bad. The wolves are hungry. Pull them out! Pull them out! We've destroyed the enemy! Taste man flesh. Saruman is here.
New power is rising.
The white hand.